Okay. So your list. So you got that piece of paper? Okay. So you wrote down how many people you have on your list, right? Do you think you can put more people on that list? Yes?
Yes.
Then why haven't you? Why? Don't get all quiet now. It's too late in the game. Why? Because I'm not bragging on myself. It could be anybody. It could be anybody standing up here. You prejudge somebody. Number one, it's not your right. It is not your right to prejudge anybody. I would be so mad at you as my friend if you prejudged me. I would be furious. I would be hurt, for sure. I may say no. But if I'm who I am, I would be upset. Wouldn't you agree? And you would be upset. Let me tell you this. So we say, write everybody you know down, right? Well, we're in, I guess, Cancun, and you guys know Micaiah? Micaiah York? He lives at my house. We were down there, and he bumps into somebody, and he goes, kid's 20, he was 23 years old. He goes, Coach? 23 years old. Coach? It was his high school football coach. Number one is high school football coach. Number two, anybody heard of Bill Phillips? Like that 12-week transformation or whatever? He was one of the winners of that. Like, he wasn't in great shape for 12 weeks. He looked incredible. He was his coach. He never wrote him down. He never called him. Ab goes, I'm a one-star national marketing director. And he never called him. Do you know how many times that's happened to people? Over and over and over and over and over again. He obviously prejudged him. Has that happened to anybody? Yeah. Where you didn't call somebody and now they're in Nerium? Yeah. Happened to me. I wrote my class president from high school down. Never called her because I was scared to call her. I was making 40 grand a month and I was scared to call her. She's a physical therapist. Scared to call her. Oh, well, she texted me on Facebook. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Guess who just joined Nerium?
Oh my
I almost threw up in my mouth. And I went to my back office and I looked up her name. And I looked up her last name. Oh, it's a different last name. Looked up her first name. No, Michelle. She wasn't on my team. She was on somebody else's team. And you know what she did? Called all of her friends that were on my list. And they're not on my team. I went and helped her. This guy felt so stupid. I helped her build her business. But my point is, if you can write people down on your list and you don't, I don't even know what to say to that. Really, I don't. You say you want it. You say you want it for your kids. You say you'll do anything for your kids, but you won't do it for your kids. You'll do it for money, because you'll do it for me, because I'm the boss. You want it bad. You can do a real results party, but you're not going to do it. That's fair. I just said that, right? You said, you know who you are. I'm not looking at you. You said you could do it, and you're not going to do it. And now I ask you if you could put more names on your paper, and you haven't done it. So, let me help you with that. Does anybody think they have everybody they can write down? No. Nobody. All right, I'm going to help you expand it even more. I want you to write these things down on the paper. So I talk with people, and they say, oh, I've written everybody down. I got 300 names. And I open their phone, and they have like 1,000. So it's like, you got to figure out what you're going to do. I want you to write these things down. And just write them in a line. Elementary school, you can just write ELEM. Below that, write middle school or junior high. Below that, write high school, HS. Below that, write college or trade school. And then below that, I want you to write these exact words. Every place I've ever lived. Every place I've ever lived. And then I want you to write down every place I've ever worked. Now watch what happens here. Watch how fun this is. Would you agree that everybody that would ever come out of that piece of paper is just like you or me? Yes. They all want freedom, and they all want time freedom and money freedom. Very sad. Whether you've seen them for 30 years or not. Now, I want you to write down one person that you haven't seen since elementary school that you remember at least their first name. You don't even know their last name. You don't know where they live. You don't have their phone number. Do you remember anybody from elementary school? Yeah. So some people will say, well, I don't know how to find that person. Where do you think you can find 99% of the people in the world? Facebook. So I would say, shout out a name you wrote down. Jason? Have you talked to Jason since elementary school? No. Would you agree that Jason wants a better life? Most people. Like him. And if you could figure out his last name, do you think you could find him on Facebook? Okay, do you think you could strike up a conversation with him? Yeah. Oh? What? He's a jerk. He was a jerk? Wait, hold on a second. Fourth grade. He's a jerk. I will bet you he's not a jerk. I'll bet he's not. I'll bet he's not. And you call him up and say, hey, look, this is taking everything I got to call him. All right, let me say this. Every place you've ever lived, I want you to just write a number. Think about it. Every single place you've ever slept, more than like a month, at least a month. Not counting all that other stuff. Some even write for days. I am. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so right then, how many places have you lived or slept more than a month? Like, even like you slept at the beach on someone's couch or whatever. Just write them down. Just write those places down. You don't have to do them all right now, but I'm just saying, when you go to do this, you write down every single place you've ever lived. I would write, until I was 7 years old, lived in Laurel. Then I lived in Potomac. I lived in Rockville. I lived in Frederick. I stayed at my brother's house. I lived in Salisbury. I write all these different places down. And then what I want you to do is each place, take one place that you lived, one place. Picture. Were there neighbors? Yes? No? Yes. Do you remember them? Write them down. I don't care if you write it with a brown-haired guy's name that smoked a lot. I don't know. Because it'll come out to you, I promise. So I thought, here's my example. 7th grade, I left Laurel, Maryland. I remember there was a redhead that lived next door. I don't remember her name. I'm in California. I call my sister in New York. I go, what's that redheaded girl's name that lived next door to us? She goes, Sue Ann. I go, Frobish. I don't know how I remember her last name. I have no idea. She goes, why? I go, I'm trying to find her. What? I go, I gotta go. 15 seconds on Facebook. Boom, found her. What I do? Creeped her page a little bit. Look at her pictures. Found out she just got married. Found out she just got a promotion. This is exactly what I said to her. Hey, Suanne, do you remember me? That's it. Like, that night, she went, LOL, how could I ever forget? And I go, is that good or bad? She goes, you were a great kid, just hyper. I'm thinking, I was probably drinking Kool-Aid back then, full of sugar. And I said, what have you been doing? How are you? Where are you living? Congratulations on getting married. Congratulations on your promotion. And we just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She goes, so what are you doing? Like normally, like if somebody's messaging me, I'm going right to their page. Find out who they are. You know what I mean? She hadn't done it. I said, well, I've been in construction for years. Parents had hard times. Teddy Pants, I said hi. And I said, I launched a company a little while ago. I didn't know much about it, sold a car, just blah, 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 blah. I go, would you be interested in trying our product? It's a skincare product. I go, I don't know much about it. I go, but it's supposed to be good. She said, yeah. She became a customer. I've been full-time in this industry for 16 years. Never did I write her name down. Never. She's a customer. That led me to the guy that lived behind us, my brother's friend. I don't remember his name. I called my brother in Maryland. I said, what's the guy's name that lived behind us? He said, it was a Herman's. I go, well, the brother, Paul or David? I go, Paul is the other one? He goes, yeah. I go, okay, see you later. Click. Find him on Facebook like that. He lives in, and somebody was asking me about Redondo Beach. Who was it? Somebody who was. Anyway, oh yeah, I got somebody. I just thought of somebody. So this guy lives in Redondo Beach, like an hour or so up north of me. He's in sales, he's got 3 kids. I mean, his wife's one of the top head trauma, like, therapists or whatever. And we get talking and we talking and we talking. But we were just talking last night. And he's got some deals he's got going that he wants my advice on, consulting, and he wants to hear about the business. Like, we haven't really connected about the business as well, but we've talked about it and all this stuff. And he's like, sometimes I'll go, holy cow, man, you're like living a life. I go, yeah, it's pretty fun. And that's another person. Led me to Montpelier Elementary School is where I went to school. I used to walk to school. It was like a half a mile. Where do you think I found Montpelier Elementary School? Facebook. And I added and connected with 15 people that went to elementary school with me, that I had no idea who they were. People that were connecting with me. So that led to more and more and more and more people. I went and found my yearbooks. I looked up everybody in my yearbook when I was in 9th and 10th grade in private school. 9th and 10th grade. And, ready for this? Anybody ever stayed back at school? Like, what grades do people stay back with?
Third.
Third. First, 5th. Not 10th grade. And I'm just dishing out all my dirty laundry. 10th grade, failed 10th grade. Failed it with honors. And I failed, wait a minute. So I went from a private school and stayed back in a public school. And all my friends were in the next grade. They were in 11th grade, I was in 10th grade. I mean, it was tough. But I went through my yearbook and I looked at every single person. Who did I look up? Who did I look up? When I ask people, write down everybody you know from high school, you know what they do? How many do you think they put down? 5, 10 names. I go, wow, you like in a little schoolroom like this big? I had 452 people in my graduating class. Whoops. You know how I know that? I already told you that, because I was last in my class. I mean, it takes a lot of work to be last in your class. Don't ask me if I'm joking. You figure it out. So I looked up every single person. There was only 150 people in this other school, but I looked up every single person. And if they weren't a weirdo, sometimes I'd private message. Sometimes I just add this friend and I'll talk to them later. But I did that with everybody. I looked up the teachers. I looked up the custodian that we knew. I looked up the guy who drove around his van to catch everybody skipping school. I looked up everybody. He was my friend's uncle. So just by doing what I just gave you, you could come up with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I will tell you this, some of those people you haven't seen in 20 or 30 years, you'll reconnect with them, whether they join this business or not. Some of them, you will be best friends with them again for the rest of your life. But your fear is going to stop you from doing that. And they'll never call you. Half of them won't, no, 90% of them won't call you even though they see success on Facebook. If you look at my Facebook page, it shows like, I think it shows like 800,000 or something on my page, my profile or whatever that is. I only put that up so I thought that my friends would contact me. Nobody. And they all know what I do. I'm thinking, if I saw my friend making that kind of money that like would wear a lampshade on his head at the parties and and chug a beer faster than anybody else, I'd be calling them. Because I'd be like, if that knucklehead can do it, I'm gonna do it. And I know I poke fun at myself, but I'm serious. That's the way that I am. So, you guys got that list?
Yep.
Do you think you can make a big list?
Yes.
How many people could, all right, how many people have been in this business 6 months, at least? All the people that you've called in 6 months, do you think you could call them in 5 months? Could you have called them in 5 months? Could you have squeezed it all into a month and called them? Could you have squeezed it into 1 week and called them? 2 weeks. Okay, how many said no in a week? Ready for this? What if your life depended on it? You could probably do it in 1 day. You guys understand what I'm trying to do this entire day? Like, you're probably saying, well, you haven't taught us anything about the business. None of this matters. Because if you can't get past what we're trying to get you to right now, you won't do it. It doesn't matter. You guys get it? Okay. So make this list as fast as you can and decide, what is that? Oh, I can't read all that I mean, if you only knew, if you only knew who was training you. And you're not going to Google it and find it because I already love it. So, results party, product prospecting systems, video, sit there. If you give somebody a video, you better call them first. You better share with them why you're doing it and what's in it for them. How many people have sent out like 100 emails from Nerium Communication Center, like when they started? Or 50 or 20?
Yeah.
Okay, did anybody call you? Okay. So, what does that say? Talk as much as you want. Just don't email, don't text to get somebody in your house. It's got to be emotional. They got to hear why you're doing it. Follow up, remind them the same day. I go a step further. If I ask all these people to come to my party, and they all say yes to me, well, if all of them don't come, are they still my friends? Yeah. So what I do is if I have an expert coming, or if I have an expert that's going to call in or FaceTime, I may introduce them to that person. Because they may say no to me, but when they say yes, they're coming to another person, they're more likely to show up. Do you guys get that? Because they don't want to make me look bad. But to me, they can say, oh. And you have people say, you call them, you go, where you at? And they go, I'm on my way. And they never show? Does that ever happen to anyone? Yeah. The next time you call somebody, they go, I'm in the car. Say, beep your horn. And they'll probably hang up with me. Product prospecting system. Get the bottle in somebody's hands. Let them try it. Take the picture. You ever had somebody say, I don't like the smell? Yes. They give it back to you and they say, I don't like the smell. Right? After 5 days. All right, let's break it down. What do you think we should do so that we don't wait 5 days to get our bottle back and they say they don't like the smell? Let them smell it first. Don't do what I did. One time this lady was like, oh yeah, I don't know, whatever. And I go, oh, smell the product. And I went, she goes, ew, I'm smelling your finger. Talk about being embarrassed. Always put it on there. Ah, it's so embarrassing. I was like, and I went like this. I swear I go like this. I like Dorothy. Like, get me out of here. Like, I didn't say anything. I just go. She goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm trying to get out of here. Like I say stupid stuff, but for me, it works when I just come out and go, okay, yep, I said it. So one time I was doing a presentation, and I was in a suit, and my fly was down. And I got my arms up like this, and my jacket's coming up, pants like this. And my friend right here is going, I don't know what she's saying. I'm like this. And I go, what? Like I stopped. I mean, I'm so weird sometimes. And I stopped, she goes, your fly's down. And I didn't even turn on, I just went, whoop. And she goes, oh my God, did you just do that? I go, yeah, I just did that. I go, I'm a construction worker, and I got away with it. It was like, I don't know where that came from, but. So anyway, share lots of pictures. Like, go over this, make it simple. I tell people, look, I don't care if you buy it, try it. But here's the thing, have you ever given somebody a bottle and they make excuses why they don't want to try it or something? You're selling, right there. You want to be giving a bottle to somebody that's got their hand out for it. Show enough before and after pictures that somebody's going to say, what is that? Well, I got a product, if you want to try it, you can try it for 5 days for free. And they go, I'd love to try it. Excuse me, or sure, I'll try it. But if you're handing it to them before they say anything, you're a salesperson. And nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. Does that make sense?